Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, in just under 2 hours, the LA Lakers will be in Orlando playing the Orlando Magic. And to be honest with you, it looks like I'm wearing somewhat of a Magic shirt, although now I know red in their colors. I don't think it's a Magic shirt. Whatever the case may be, I'm a Laker fan. Y'all know what it is. And, well, we just played the Magic about a game and a half, 2 games ago, basically, and we didn't shoot the ball very well from behind the arc, 23%. We had over 15 turnovers, so 29% actually from behind the arc. 15 turnovers or more. I just don't think that was the greatest showing of Laker basketball. Only won by 3 points. Bron had like 19 points. AD did go off. D'Angelo Russell was the big man there with 28 points, 8 assists, I believe, 10 out of 14 shooting. And then we went on to play the Clippers and had a really good game. You know, played overtime game with them, had a fantastic time watching that. A lot of momentum shift since then. Austin Reeves has played better since then, and a lot of players are in and out of the lineup that weren't missing from this previous matchup with the Magic. Gary Harris on their end is going to be out. He went completely off against us, had a perfect shooting game, 6 for 6 if I'm not mistaken. And then, of course, got to mention Markelle Fultz, their point guard. One of their many point guards is also going to be missing this game with something going on with his knee. And, of course, we got the same guys missing that we had missing from the Clipper game. Jalen Hood-Schifino, Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, Taurean Prince is a late scratch in the last one. He's going to be out for this one. And Rui Hachimura is still dealing with concussion protocol. So that's 5 players missing from our regular rotation, and we're going to have to try to find a way to get the most out of everybody else. Fortunately enough, that was the same exact lineup that went up against the Clippers and beat the Clippers minus James Harden. So this is the first of a 4-game road trip. The Lakers are playing the Orlando Magic team that just came off a victory against the Utah Jazz, where Paolo Banchero went for 30 points. Franz Wagner went for over 25 points. And they lost Wendell Carter in that game. He went down with a broken finger, so add him to the injury report as well. He's going to be out for a little while with that, obviously. So, you know, this is a situation where both teams are undermanned, but both teams are going to be running players that they probably would be better for playing. And in Orlando, Anthony Black, he had a perfect shooting game in the previous one, and we know he's a huge body that can play many positions. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was the 6th pick in the draft. And Anthony Black is not to be toyed with. So if we see him down there, he's a high-level dude that they just may throw in off of their bench, who will likely be a starter in this league for many years to come when he gets past the rookie woes, and people don't want to play rookies for some ridiculous reason I don't agree with. But nevertheless, Anthony Black is somebody I expect to see come off the bench behind Jalen Suggs. Cole Anthony is also a player playing off the bench, playing at a very high level. So one of those 3 guys is going to start tonight, and either of them can really do some good things. Now, Jalen Suggs has not been shooting very well to start the season. He's also a high lottery pick from about 4 years ago. Has a very, very good defensive mindset, can play some tough basketball. Definitely going to get better as his conditioning continues to grow more healthy. So I know Jalen Suggs, his ceiling can go up pretty high, and we haven't seen the best from him. So we need to be careful about the upside of everybody they put on the floor. Especially now that Gary Harris is out and Markelle Fultz is out. We're going to see different guards, and those guards are going to be very good. So that's something that we need to understand. Joe Ingles is out there. Look for him off of their bench. Didn't have the greatest game, but I'm sure he's going to play well at home. And, of course, you're talking about Paolo Banchero. You're talking about Franz Wagner. And given the fact that they're missing Wendell Carter Jr., you're going to be talking about Batazde possibly playing some center. But likely they're going to try to play some guys that they really would rather not play at that position. Maybe Paolo may have to play some center. So that gives us an advantage with Anthony Davis, in my opinion. It gives us an advantage with Christian Wood. We're really going to be pleased to see the fact that Wendell will not be out there getting double-doubles and shooting the ball and all kinds of stuff like that. It makes them a significantly more relying upon offensive players to play defense type of thing with their front court. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting for us. Also, of course, given the fact that we've come off a big win against the Clippers, we've had everyone who's been paying attention to the Lakers talking heads have essentially been hearing them speak about how LeBron and AD have been playing so many minutes to start the season. But we got to take into account, as Trevor Lane told us this morning, that the Lakers have really played 2 overtime games, so that kind of scared the numbers in regards to the minutes that our guys have been getting. D'Angelo Russell's playing a lot of minutes as well. These are 3 players we'd rather not play so many minutes, but I don't think that's just out of any other reason than necessity, given the fact that those overtime games have missed so many players out of regular rotation. When Vanderbilt and Rui get back and, we get Jalen Hood-Schifino in there goes the backups for those guys right there. So we know what the problem is. It ain't that Darvin just wants to play these guys all these minutes. It's just that we don't have a whole lot of options, and that's just what it is. I want the Lakers to play the two-way guys. I don't know if they'll be available tonight or not, but I do think that that's a solution. Colin Castleton coming into the rotation is definitely a solution for a lot of these problems. Of course, like I said, we got Christian Wood playing at a high level. I've loved what I've seen from him to start the season. He fits in much better with us and under Darvin Ham than he did in Dallas, in my opinion. Right next to Anthony Davis, he just really provides a dynamic that we absolutely can use with 2 players of similar height and length. Going out there and putting it all on the line on the defensive end and then translating that to offense, which comes easy to the both of them. So Anthony Davis has been playing at an extremely high level as of late, and I don't think that's independent of the fact that they have a guy down there like Christian Wood helping him out a good portion of the time. So love that. Max Christie played some good defense, even though his shooting has not come around. We like that. And, of course, if we're going to talk about defense in this conversation, we need to mention our guy Cam Reddish, who has really stepped up, had a fantastic defensive game against the Clippers. We stole the ball from just about every big name they got. Tried to yam it on somebody, too. He tried to dunk the ball hard. He didn't make that dunk, but it was just an overall breakout game for him as a Laker. And we're really excited about what he can do for us defensively more so than anything else. Now, his three-point shooting has still been kind of errant, to be honest with you. I haven't loved the attempts. But, hey, a missed shot is a missed shot. Everybody misses threes. He's hit some, too. And I think he's going to continue to gain confidence off of that Clipper game. So I'm very excited about what he can do as long as these forwards are out. We're going to rely upon him, and we're going to need him to continue to lock people up. And that's where he's going to make his money with this team. And I think if he displays the type of defense that he showed against the Los Angeles Clippers, he'll be known as a fantastic defender. Simply put, you're on the Los Angeles Lakers. Everybody's going to know who you are. Whether you play well or not, they're going to know you. And from here, his money was really made in that Clipper game. So I'm excited about Cam Reddish at this point. I want the offense to come around. He did some good things offensively too, but it's really the defense that made us excited about his future this season. Austin Reeves. We know Austin Reeves had the worst game ever against the Kings a few games ago. Where he went 1 for 12, and from what I understand, up until that point, he had one of the worst plus minuses in all of basketball. But since then, he's played pretty well. The shot hasn't really come around like he wanted to, but it's coming around slowly but surely. Other aspects of his game, getting involved a little more defensively, making plays for others, trying to get on the boards. We know what Austin can do. He just has to adjust to the slump that he's been in. And so I'm excited about Austin snapping out of that slump, hopefully on this road trip, fully, and getting back to his fantastic intangibles, the ways that he brings to, all of the different things that he does to this team, I think will ultimately make us a much better team, because we really need him playing at a high level for us to continue to win the way that we expect to win, especially with everybody missing. So, I left a video up here that I made from Crypto.com Arena 2 days ago. I would encourage everybody to go check that out. I talked a whole lot about what I think the Lakers are benefiting from right now in regards to just the players that they're using and the different things that they bring to the table that maybe the guys we were relying upon weren't bringing to the table. And as a result, I think that we are a more effective team just by way of the things that we're forced to do rather than the things that Darvin was choosing to do. So I really believe that, man. Sometimes when you take away you take away the certain options, and you start seeing that the others that you're not using are guys that can really provide you better options. So hopefully we're learning that lesson as we're getting better results. And when Taurean Prince and Gabe Vincent come back, we will still use the guys that we're using in the same ways that we're using them. That's my hope, because I just feel like they're players that have higher upside, that can provide more energy defensively. In some cases, although Taurean Prince and Gabe Vincent can be very good defenders and have a lot of experience, they also have a lot of mileage on them and are also understood in this league, guys who people know. I'd rather use guys people don't know and try to make them figure those guys out. So that's just a philosophy thing that I think the Lakers would probably benefit from considering, and I think that right now we're forced to. So the Cam Reddishes and Max Christie's, you're seeing them more. Jackson Hayes, you're seeing these guys more, and as a result, they're giving you the energy that comes with that. So I love it, and that's what we spoke about. So yeah, man, with this Orlando game coming up so soon, since all of the Eastern Conference games are fit for Eastern Conference fans, they want to make sure these games are early. So for us, this one's going to be like an hour and a half from now, and we'll have to adjust to that. Of course, it's Saturday, so I'm pretty sure everybody will be in to watch that game. And of course, we got a game against the Miami Heat after that, followed by a game with the Houston Rockets and then the Phoenix Suns to end the 4-game road trip. And I think the Phoenix Suns game will be the first game of our tournament. And of course, you guys have seen all those ugly floors that they're running around out there for the tournament in the Eastern Conference. And of course, Denver, I think, played their first tournament game. So it's not really a conference thing, but nevertheless, I'm gonna tell y'all, since everybody's talking about the floors, I think the Lakers have one of the best ones. I like the Blazers one a little bit. I like that one a lot. The Laker floor looks pretty good. I think the Bucks floor is all right because it's tolerable. You know what I mean? It's easy to look at. I didn't hate the Indy floor as much as most people do, but I can stand not to look at it. The one I really don't like that I think most people haven't hated as much as I do is the OKC floor. The blue is beautiful, but that orange and the jerseys they're wearing with it is hideous, man. I hate it. I think the Orlando floor actually looked pretty good too. We'll see it tonight. Well, no, we won't. We will not because it's not a tournament game, but I think their floor looks pretty good. And there was a few others that I thought was all right. I don't really dig Denver's floor too much because I don't like numbers on numbers, if that makes any sense. And they do have the 38,050 or something like that. I don't 3,850. I don't know. I don't really dig it. I would rather them not have numbers and then numbers on the jersey, that kind of thing. It's just not my flavor. But all in all, I think most of the floors are hideous. I do believe that most of them are hideous. That Bulls floor is too red. The Portland floor is also very red, but I don't know, it's okay. But some of them are like, what are they doing? The Utah purple, I actually don't hate that color purple, so I can stand to look at it, but I do understand people who don't like it for those who don't like the color. So there's just a lot of stuff going on with those floors that I think, what I think this era has lost is the reason why they didn't put such bold floors on television in the past is because some people really do have epilepsy. And it really can cause headache issues and things like that. And I think that they've kind of gotten lost in that understanding for trying to do this. And I think it could cause some people some problems. I really do. That's one thing I would wonder if they've done enough studying on in the midst of trying to put all these bold colors on the floor. It just seems to me that that's a bit of a, it's risky, in regards to that. I already heard people complaining about seeing so much red and stuff like that. It can, as Trevor said this morning, take away from the product on the floor and just make it so that you're focused on a little more than you need to. And as somebody who's an artist, I can appreciate loud colors at times, but you got to offset them to some degree. I don't need pure red, pure blue. Depending on the blue, I'm not going to feel it. So I think the ones that are a bit more subtle are the ones that look better. And I like the Lakers one because hardwood and yellow is pretty much similar. So it looks tolerable because you're used to seeing a shade of yellow in the hardwood. So that's why I like our floor. Probably is the most out of all of the floors that they're using. I think the template is a little ugly in general. They keep using the same template. I think that's a little ugly. And ultimately, I think the trophy is ugly. To be honest with you, it's not a good looking trophy to me at all. And it doesn't look good on either end of the court. So, it is what it is, man. I'm just not a fan of that. I wanted to chime in since that's the going conversation around. But as far as the Orlando Magic, man, I didn't mention that they've played, of course, the Utah Jazz. I did mention they beat the Jazz with Paolo getting 30 points. But I think what went wrong with the Jazz is that Jordan Clarkson missed about 15 shots. But that's just what the stats tell me. I didn't see any of that game. And in the previous one to that, they played the LA Clippers. Of course, everybody who comes to LA has to play both teams pretty much. So we're going to see the same teams at the same time, more or less, us and the Clippers. That's just how it always goes. And so they did lose that matchup against the Clippers before we played the Clippers and won in overtime against them. So, yeah, man, it's a lot of bunched together teams seeing each other over and over again, that kind of thing right now. And, we're getting rid of the Orlando Magic so early in the season. I don't know how I feel about that because sometimes teams make big trades in the second half of the season. And if you've already seen them, you don't get to see those big traded pieces. Not to say that I expect Orlando to do something like that, but that's kind of why I want to see these Eastern Conference teams that we only see twice, once in the beginning and once at the end if I have a choice. So that if there's a big trade after the trade deadline, we can see the new look team, you know what I mean? But They didn't give us that option with this particular one, so we're going to be getting rid of Orlando tonight. This is the last time we're going to play them for the entire season. 7 games into this freaking season, 6 games. So I don't love that, but yeah, man, definitely looking forward to beating this Orlando Magic team like we did 2 days ago. We shouldn't have trouble with them, given the fact that they're missing the certain key pieces that they're missing, so long as they don't have any surprise circumstances like Anthony Black going for a triple-double in his first game as a starter or something, which I don't even expect him to start. But I'm just saying, like, those are the type of things that I think is going to be required for them to run into a Laker team that's playing as we are. Not to say that we're playing that great, but since that Clipper game, I'd only imagine that our upside, our momentum rather, is taking us into a positive place with our basketball club. So that is the thought there. See who else is on this team that I'm not thinking about. Caleb, is his name Caleb Houston? Gotta be careful with the Houston guy. Last time we played in Orlando against the Magic, he played very well, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, but I have seen him stretch the floor pretty well. Gotta watch out for some of their role players, Ingles, players like that. I expect for Cole Anthony to have a big game tonight, since they're really gonna be relying upon him to be their most efficient scorer at the guard spot. Jalen Suggs is not a great scorer at this stage in his career. He's coming off of a very bad game, if I'm not mistaken, shooting the ball against us, and against the Clippers I don't think he shot very well either. Now he is coming home, so you got to be careful with players who've been slumping coming back to their own arena. But I do think they're going to have a little bit of trouble at the end of the day, because what you're looking at is them moving key pieces that help solidify different roles, like Wendell Carter not being out there, Markelle Fultz. Those are 2 very high-level starters that kind of glue what they do together. So it's going to be incumbent upon, Suggs to get guys involved, Anthony to get guys involved, Paolo to keep his assists up. And so they may be wise to play Anthony Black throughout the course of this game at different positions to kind of help with solidify their playmaking, in theory. But I don't know if they're thinking like that. That's how I would use their roster. I don't know that's how they would use it. But I'll tell you this, as I keep on mentioning Anthony Black, he was 4 for 4 in the last game, and he is a defender. In fact, he's going to be one of the most gifted defenders in the game as he progresses. So I don't expect to see him a lot, but I know what he can do. He is literally probably their 7th or 8th best player. They just don't quite want to use him because he's a rookie. But that is a problem right there. Big body, defensive guy, guards the perimeter very well. I don't want to see him. I hope we don't see him. But Gary Harris being out, Markelle Fultz being out, we're definitely going to see him. So, yeah, him coming home early in the season, this could be one of them games where it's like, okay, this is who I am. Breakout game for me. I don't want that type of nonsense tonight. The Lakers got to keep an eye on that kid. Have him on the scouting report, please, Darvin. So, yeah, man, Paolo Banchero, 6'10", 260, basically bronze size. Very talented scorer coming off a 30-point game. He hasn't had the high-level scoring games that I expected to see from him, but given the fact that he's coming off of one, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for another 30 tonight. He's that good of a scorer, so be very careful with him. Franz Wagner, one of the best pure basketball players out there, in my opinion. Still developing, but already extremely talented. Can score, assist, rebound, defend. There's not a whole lot he can't do. Drive at the rim, stretch the floor, mid-range. He don't have too many holes in his game. So those are 2 very, very talented young players that we're going to see a whole lot of tonight. So hopefully we can get them in foul trouble. Maybe they have a slump night, something like that. Now, of course, LeBron James playing so great, man. From what I understand, he's shooting 75% from the field, which is absolutely insane. But he's doing a lot of driving, so it's not too surprising. His three-point shot has improved as well. So hopefully on this road trip we can have good success with LeBron James, having logged so many minutes. Hopefully this ain't one of them road trips where we roll an ankle or something like that, because that can tend to be the case in situations where guys have played a lot and then get on a plane. So let's just try to limit his minutes. Hopefully we can have ourselves a good game tonight so we don't have to play deep into the 4th quarter with most of our main guys. Want to see Max Christie tonight. Want to see Max Lewis tonight. Jackson Hayes tonight. Austin Reeves in the 4th quarter, kind of controlling the ball and making sure that other guys that ultimately are expected to play a lot don't play too much tonight. That's what my ideal Laker game would be. Win this game by 15, 20 points against an Orlando Magic team that is not used to playing without the players that are not going to be out there tonight. So that's what I'm hoping for, because they have to shuffle their lineup in such a way that they're not used to. maybe we can jump in here and try to push them around with our superstar names and talent, which should be available. And of course, with D'Angelo Russell playing so well against the Magic, I hope he has similar type of confidence against them, even though, like I said, they could put a bigger defender on him tonight, with Anthony Black probably being forced into the lineup. So, yeah, man, I'm excited about this one. I am. I like the Orlando Magic's core, what they have. It's fortunate for them that they're missing two of their biggest stars, kids out there in Wendell and Markelle. And of course, as I said, Gary shot so well against us and is always known for his defense. It's going to be really helpful to not have him deal with it as well out there. So all of this is pointing toward us having a good game, and that means it could be a trap game. That means it could be a letdown game. That means it could be a play to the level of the opponent type of game. And that is exactly the type of game that we had against Orlando a couple nights ago. I felt we played to the level of the opponent. We only scored 105 points, 106 points, and that is something that doesn't bode well in my mind. We're going to have to get that energy going, punch this team in the mouth early, and of course, whatever we do, come out of the locker room at halftime with the right energy and intensity, scoring the basketball, specifically Anthony Davis. So that's what my thought is, man. I also look for the King to play better against Orlando. He only had 19 points against them in that first game. I would imagine he's going to want to go there. I don't know how many more times he is going to play in Orlando. You know what I mean? The way the NBA goes, we only play there once a year. Year 21. I don't know what his history is against the Magic, really, but I'm sure he's had some massive games against them in the playoffs, stuff like that, as a Cleveland Cavalier and as Heat. I think he's going to want to show up. This is a big road trip for the King. Obviously going to Miami in the next one. So Florida ties to the King are real serious, and I expect for big things from him, given the fact that this may be one of the last times he plays in Orlando, potentially. And I know he has that on his mind. At this age, we definitely have stuff like that on our mind. So, he's going to try to show off for the fans, I'd imagine. I really believe that. So, that's what I got to say, man. One of my favorite Eastern Conference teams we're seeing tonight, man. I like those kids. I really do. And they're only getting better. Hopefully we don't see no Jet Howard, because he can definitely execute the ball very well down the stretch of basketball games. That's his gift. They haven't used him yet, so I don't expect that they will use him tonight. But I'm just aware of young players. Y'all know me. I'm more young player-centric than most people who pay attention to this sport. A lot of guys like vets. I don't like vets. I don't like them at all, basically. If you ain't a star vet, you probably off my team. I'm more so ready to play a Jet Howard and an Anthony Black. That's just who I am. So that's why I'm so focused on kids who likely probably won't play very much. Speaking of guys who probably won't play very much, Max Lewis. We talked about that in that game. I was in the video I did at Crypto. I really believe that if we use Max Lewis, we'll be happy we did. I know we want to save kids. Obviously, want to get their conditioning going. Young players don't know what they're doing. They could be baited into fouls and stuff like that. I know that. But from what I've seen from him, I would like him to get his feet wet in a game like this where we're undermanned so much. Max Christie, obviously, I want to see him play as well. But I just want to see us kind of throw him out there for a few minutes, see if he gives us something good, see if he doesn't, see if there's something special to see if there's not. Maybe he comes out there as a lazy egg, I don't know. But I would love to see him in a game like this against the Orlando Magic team that's shorthanded. This is a good time to give him some minutes, in my opinion. So, yeah, man, this is what it is. Beginning of the road trip. I am of the mindset the Lakers can win all 4 of these games. I am of the mindset of that. I really am. The Phoenix Suns are struggling. The Houston Rockets can't seem to use the right people. Same problem. What we're saying is the Houston Rockets problem. They want to use all the people they shouldn't use in all the ways they probably shouldn't. And I know that that's not it's not a sign that they have a bad coach. Obviously, I'm a much more of a fan than their coach than a lot of coaches, because they got Ime Udoka over there. But they gotta play their vets, and they want to play those guys early in the season and work the young guys in later on. And I just know the young guys are better than those dudes. So that's what's going on in Houston. We're gonna see them, and in Miami struggling, even though Tyler Hero's going crazy. So we got to be aware that Tyler Hero's stepping into another level of his talent, and it's healthy. So we got to be careful with him, because they don't really have a whole lot in Miami. So it's basically Tyler Hero show in a lot of cases. So, yeah, this is a road trip where I think we can win the whole thing, man. I really do. I think we can sweep this road trip, but we got to get off to a good start tonight and carry that momentum into Miami. So let's stay healthy, LA, or get healthy, LA. We're only using 9 guys in rotation or 10 guys in rotation. So luckily enough for us, those are very talented guys, and our core is intact. So that's what I got to say, man. I'm excited about it. BDL 44, I thank you all for watching, and I'm out.